Hi folks, with Tacitus today, your pushback channel. Thank you for joining this audio live stream. In this essay, I'm just going to follow on from a vid I did a few days ago about helping a friend's sort of teenage kid buy a car. Kid doesn't know one end of the car from another, like you can't tell the steering wheel from the front wheel. But there's quite a few people actually in that sort of situation. As I went through in the other video, we kind of went through a short list. The kid nominated the kind of cars he wanted, and then we ended up finally finding some that were genuine. A lot of the adverts for car sales are actually fake. The cars don't exist. And it's just used by the website to populate the website to give the impression that there's lots and lots of cars for sale. Well, in fact, half of them or a decent proportion of them are just fakes, just there to give the impression of, it's a happening place and lots of things going on. Anyway, going past that, we finally sort of came across a sort of few cars that did exist, and there's one that he liked. So I said, okay, I'll go over and I'll go with you and have a look at the car and just sort of give you some ideas the shape it's in and what might be a reasonable price. Now, there's quite a few online sort of forums to give you a price on the car, so the year and the mileage and the model and the version and everything like that. It'll say, well, the market price for that used car is for example $5,000, which was about the price of this car that he liked. So I had to look at it, and the guy seemed to, I got the impression, knew more than he was letting on. So, but to the seller, So I went through it, and the bottom line was like the air conditioning unit shot, one of the main gaskets is shot, and there's a few other things, and really that there's to make sure the car's usable and workable. It's easy to buy a used car that you have to endlessly throw money at. But so I said to the owner of the car, or the guy trying to sell it, I'm not exactly sure he was the owner really, but so look, it's about $2,000 to get the work done. Now, you want $5,000 for it, which is full market price, but that assumes the car's in pretty much tip-top condition, which this certainly isn't. So now the air conditioning, you can sort of do with that, I guess. Like it's not a life and death matter. The car will still run. You can still get from A to B. And whether you can get A to B in the sort of comfort that you're expecting, that's another matter. With the gasket wasn't a fatal gasket, as in the car will stop operating or you won't be able to go up a hill because it's losing compression, the engine's losing compression. It wasn't that sort of thing, but it does mean that the there'll be oil will be spilling into the radiator, and radiator coolant will spill into the oil, which will fuck things up. So, but it's not a terminal. The car will stop dead tomorrow, but it needs to be attended to, and other things too that again weren't life and death matters, but they would become so if they weren't attended to. So that's easily, and I think it'd be more if I did a more exhaustive. But after about half an hour, I could see the guy was getting jack of it, and I kind of pretty much had enough as well. And it was a reasonably hot day, and so that's why I said to him, look, it's $2,000 worth of repairs plus, and so there's no way you can reasonably expect full market price for the car. So I could see that went down like a lead balloon. So so the guy, in not so many words, he said, look, I'm going to hold out for the price that I want. And the reason, and he even explained his reasoning to me, is that it's very rare to come across someone like me who knows about cars and who's prepared to put the time into going over it thoroughly. He said the chances of me coming across someone with that knowledge and that time is rare, especially with a car at this price. I've got a much. This is the guy who owns the car or claims he owns the car. He said, look, I can probably get my price because the paintwork's good, the car inside's pretty tidy. And that's what most people make the decision on. They don't have your expertise where they can look at all this other stuff. So they'll come up, the car drives, you turn the key and the engine comes on, that sort of stuff. So this is, I can sell this car for the price, and I've got a pretty decent chance of it because it's so rare that someone who knows anything about cars will actually come along. And so I'm not going to shift the price. He made out that he didn't know about all these things, but I put money that he knew about the air conditioning. So the gasket, maybe not. Some of the other stuff he must have known about. So I don't buy that he didn't know. But anyway, but that was his view. He said, look, the chances of coming across somebody with that, that level of expertise that you've got is just so rare that it's very low risk. The probability that I want to sell to people who know nothing about cars. That's what I want. And if provided enough of those come along, I'll be able to sell it at the price I want. I'm not obligated to tell these people about the faults with the car. I don't have to tell them anything. It's up to them. It's their lookout, and I don't have to tell them anything. And if they don't have the expertise to be able to locate those faults, then that's not my problem. If they do have the expertise to locate the faults, as I do, then I don't want to sell to them anyway. So that's it. So I thought that's an interesting sort of moral question. That your whole idea of the fair price is that you can only sell to idiots or people who have no knowledge of the issues, and and that's a justifiable thing. And it's their lookout if they don't know, and if they do know, you don't want to talk to them anyway. So he kind of said, well, why don't you fuck off? He didn't say this in these words, but it was made clear, nothing to talk about. Why don't you fuck off? I will be able, I'm confident I can find a sucker who'll buy the car. As soon as they bought the car, all those issues become their problem, not mine. Why should I care? Okay. I kind of saw the guy was saying, well, my job is to maximize the price I get for this car. I'm sort of paraphrasing his attitude, maximize the price I get for the car, and the rest is the other person's lookout. Now, we also went to a couple of car yards, and it was much the same thing, and I've experienced this previously. You come into the car lot, and they're again, the cars generally, the paintwork's sort of good enough, the car's sort of clean inside and so on. But as soon as you look underneath, or as soon as you lift up the, look in the engine bay, then you realise, holy shit, this car's fucked. And you can see the gasket leaks, the internal leaks with oil, and all that sort of stuff. But as soon as they know that you know what to look for, and you know how to identify the problems, they effectively invite you to leave the car lot. No, we don't want someone around here who knows about cars. We want suckers. It's got good paintwork, it's clean inside. We've done our bit. We don't want people that so they're asking a price in the car yards. They're asking a price that reflects, again, the market price of a car in very good tip-top condition, not the sort of condition that some of these cars are in. Now, they're required by law to offer a warranty, but under a certain price. But then the price point that the kid's looking at, it's only a 90-day warranty. But if you read these warranties, they're very conditional. And they've got numerous out clauses for the car yard. So they've got, for example, after 30 days, you have to bring the car back for a service to the car yard, only the car yard. You have to bring it in before a certain time, and they may decide to keep it overnight or even a few days. They say, it needs a new part, we have to keep it for a week, because they can do anything like that. So they've got that very broad discretion. Now, if you don't bring the car back for a 30-day service, they can then say, well, that 90-day warranty is voided. If you do anything to the car, it could be you change the oil. The oil could be like treacle or anything, it doesn't matter. But if you change it to clean oil, they can argue that you've interfered with the operations of the car, you've done something to it outside of the warranty conditions, and therefore they can void the warranty for that. Now, if something does go wrong with the car, then you have to, so you could be 100 miles away when the car stops working, but you have to take at your expense, you have to get the car over to their workshop to have the warranty as valid, to their workshop, and they don't have to give you a time. They can take a week. It's a timely manner, so it could be a day, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You could be without a car, so you may have had to spend hundreds of dollars to get it towed over to their workshop, because only their workshop where it's valid, the warranty. If you have any work done to it outside of that also avoids the warranty. So you have it taken over to their workshop, and then they can take as long as they want. If the repair on the particular item exceeds $1,000, they're not obligated to do that either. They can just say, well, we'll give you another car when, as soon as one becomes available, we'll let you know. That type of thing. So the warranty in reality isn't worth a pinch of shit unless you happen to live around the corner, unless the car stops working, again, 100 meters away from their workshop. Any other circumstances, the warranty is not worth a pinch of shit. But again, the minute they assessed that I knew what I was talking about in terms of cars and I could spot problems and so on, that no, we don't want you on the lot. Go. We're here to sell to suckers, and that's it. And this very much is in the across, I think, the used car industry. Now, once you go into the bigger bucks and you're spending, I don't know, $50,000 on a used Beamer or Merc or something, that's different completely. I mean, I'm not talking about that where you're dealing with or interacting with reputable dealers with prestige motor vehicles at serious price points for used cars. That's a different matter altogether. But when you're at the bottom end, you're rolling around in the weeds at the bottom end, as most young people are when they're buying their first car, then it's buyer beware, and you really have to know what you're doing. But this kid, effectively, he's being prevented from making informed decisions about, as in the advice I give him, the informed decisions about buying the car, because nobody wants it. So no. If you know what you're talking about, we don't want to do business with you. Fuck off. And that's an incredible sort of moral situation to be in. But I think at that lower price point, no matter where you go, you're going to get that. But again, you want to spend the bigger bucks, sure, you'll be treated better. But the kid doesn't have those sort of bucks. Being Tacitus today, your Pushback channel. Thank you for listening.